Hello and welcome to the DC Stewart Show podcast. I'm your host, Derek Stewart, once again with McKin Folk, Isaiah and Najee. And guess what? It is Monday, November 3rd, 2025. And folks, we're so happy to be here, to be in front of you, to have you join us today, be able to share some of the sports recap weekend that we actually covered some on Saturday night. However, Monday morning is always a full show and a half or two shows and a half to cover a lot of the a lot of the things that happen over the weekend in sports from football, basketball, and college football and NFL football and Major League Baseball, because as you could see, I'm wearing my Dodgers gear today. We're having a parade in about an hour downtown LA. I believe that parade is probably getting ready to kick off shortly, as a matter of fact. I had said yet last year, if they won again, I was going to go. But however, I'm here with you, fam, because we want to be here with you. And make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. Right now, we're televising on YouTube and Twitch TV. We should be live on Twitch TV. I'll follow up on that. But we hope you're having a great day on a Monday morning, because Mondays are harder to get started than, the end of the week. So anyway, I want to go ahead and unpack a few things, and let me just break down a summary of what we're going to talk about today before I introduce McKim folks. We're going to be talking about the latest breaking news of Hugh Freeze being fired by Auburn University. He was there for 3 years. Auburn, they've had issues with coaches in the past 5 to 7 years, because over the last 5 years, I know for a fact, they brought in coaches and they just haven't measured up to the expectations of the Auburn fan base and the Auburn, faithful. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover some NFL news, which we basically, we elaborated up on Saturday about the Miami general manager situation in the NFL as well. We're going to cover University of Miami losing that football game against SMU on Saturday, which was unacceptable by all means. They should not have lost that game, period. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. We're going to talk about Jayden Daniels dislocating his elbow in the NFL against the Seattle Seahawks last night, which is a devastating injury for the Washington Commanders, by the way. It's just, I think he's done for the year. As a matter of fact, he won't be back with a dislocated or a broken arm. You could say, term it however you want
not the way that thing looked. It looked like a whole chicken wing.
Exactly. So, and that could be a compound fracture if that's the way you described it,
That ain't no damn compound fracture, man. That's a dislocation.
Right. So anyway, we're going to cover some of those topics and subjects. Isaiah's looking pretty sharp today. He's trying to outdo me, but he outdid me today because I'm wearing my Dodgers gear. I promised I was going to wear it on Saturday. We got a world championship team in Los Angeles right as we speak, and I'm going to spend some time talking about my favorite team in baseball right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers. But we're going to unpack and bring in Isaiah and see what he's got to say about sports weekend this weekend, and then we'll go to Najee.
Well, everybody knows, the sports weekend started early. It started on a horrendous Thursday night instead of Friday. Man,
beautiful Thursday. Beautiful Thursday.
And see now, this is what's happening when you partner with a rear end on the West Coast and a rear end on the mid part of the state of Florida, man. He's got his Raven gear on. He came down and talked crap about my Ravens coming in here and beating my Dolphins, got all that garbage on now. And then that other jack behind on top got this Dodger stuff on. And see, I'm so ashamed of my damn teams. I remain neutral. I got on a brown hat and a white jacket because both of my teams got smothered. The Dolphins just flat out got beat, but the Canes lost by being stupid. So Man, my teams, man, it was a terrible weekend. But other than that, I hung out with my dad and my brother. Man, we had a beautiful weekend. Just chilling together, doing a little business and all that type of stuff. But wow, it was nice. Other than that, the weather held up and everything else. So I'm good when it comes to that. But sports wise, oh, got beat up. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about it. How about you, Najee? And I told him on Saturday, I say, Najee is going to handle your rear end on Monday. And sure enough, he wore his gear. So what do you got to say to him, Najee? Just break it down real fast for our kinfolk and for our family that's watching us.
I told him not to go against the Floridian of Lamar Jackson. That was his first game back in a month of not playing football, and he did job the way he did. 28-6. That wasn't even a contest. Y'all almost wasted our time. I tried to tell that young man over there, but he don't want to listen to me. Just because he think he played and knows football, you think he'll have some common sense of the sport that he loves. But hey, sometimes love it would do you wrong. But my weekend was good. Thursday was good enough for me already. I didn't need to do anything
And
else.
that just kicked off the weekend for you, right?
DC,
And that's all. That was all.
This dude talking all that crap like they got a good record. Y'all got one win more than us. They only won one game
Now
more than
it
us.
looks like you trying to find excuses, Isaiah, to get out of it, but we ain't gonna let you off the hook.
He truly
No,
is.
man.
Yeah, you trying to find excuses why they got one more win than us.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. This is reality has set in, man. Their team is one game better than us, and he around here parading around like they freaking undefeated or getting ready to go to the Super Bowl. Them guys got one game better than us. I mean, I'm a reality-driven guy. I know our team is in disarray. We just got rid of our damn GM, and then we need to get rid of the coach and a couple more players with them too. So I understand what's happening, man. So I ain't trying to find no excuses.
How
Yeah.
about just cleaning house and getting rid of all of them, getting rid
But
of owner two? How about
but
Stephen Ross?
if
Package
the
him up and
Dolphins won,
yeah,
it would have been the
I'm
same
good with the owner.
situation.
I'm not,
yeah.
man. I'm good with Stephen
Just
Ross, man.
start
Stephen
fresh
Ross is
again,
done.
right?
No. So what you want us to get rid of the owner? Our owner is on par. He's good. He's spending money. Back in the day, you had Robbie and the rest of those guys and Heisinger didn't want to spend no money. Stephen Ross is spending money. He's doing what he's supposed to do as an owner. He's making upgrades around the facility. I mean, he closes the stadium up entirely where they won't get wet in there, but everything else is he's doing what he's supposed to do. This is the first time, and this is the reason why he had to clean house with the general manager because he allowed this guy to spend the type of money it takes to bring winners in, and he didn't do it. That's why Grier is gone. That's why Chris Grier is gone because Stephen Ross said, "Okay, here's my checkbook. Go get what you need to do to bring us a championship in there." And for 10 years, he didn't do that. I mean, he had this roller coaster type of slope, and every now and then he would have a good season, but he didn't make no playoffs, and he didn't do what he needed to do to get this team with some stability in there. So that's why he's out. So we'll see what we're going to do from here forward. We already got an interim GM in there, and this guy's experience.
Champ
So
Kelly.
let's see what
Champ
happens.
Kelly is a very
We'll see what
legitimate
we go from there.
GM. And
Right. So
I'm
we'll
pulling
see.
for Champ Kelly to get this job. I mean, if Stephen
Yeah,
Ross
so
is
am I.
listening, Champ
Yeah,
Kelly, give the job to Champ Kelly. Champ Kelly will get it
yeah.
handled. He's been an executive in the NFL for quite some time. He's very
Oh,
experienced.
you know what? I'm glad you feel that way, DC, because the other day you was talking stupid. You come out, bring Marino probably gonna get
I
the
didn't
job, and
say.
I
I
was
just
like,
made
wow.
a bold prediction that Marino's name will be dropped in the hat. They ain't
I
nothing
bet you
stupid
they
about
now.
that.
Well, it is. If
It's
you
nothing
said Marino
stupid.
could do
Marino
it,
has been a part of that organization for
that
God
don't mean
knows
you
how
give him a
long,
GM
30
job.
years. So
That
don't
don't mean
ever
you give
count
him a
him out
GM
on
job.
any executive position, by the way.
Listen to me now. Now, let me tell you this. You see how I just got to talk about what a brilliant guy Stephen Ross is. If he hire Marino as a GM, then I'm a jump the fence. I say no, this guy's nuts too. But he ain't gonna hire no Marino as no GM, man. Marino ain't good for nothing but sitting on his ass in that press box and stirring up trouble. That's all he's been doing since he got out of football. Ask the network where he was working as a commentator. They run him off from there. Okay.
So, Isaiah, I have a question for you before I just tell everybody how my weekend went. By the way, my weekend went fantastic, and I can't ask for a better weekend. We did a show on Saturday night. We had a really good time entertaining people on Saturday night. Let me ask you a question. How does it feel to wake up in the morning feeling old, gray, and ugly? Tell me that.
I haven't experienced that, DC. I mean, I
You
don't
haven't
know how it
experienced that
feels.
yet? Because I have.
No, no. Well, that's your business. See, I don't have any great, and I'm damn sure not ugly, so I don't know what to talk about. Oh my god! Oh man!
Yeah, we really having a good time on this show, and like we were saying, y'all done let us get comfortable with something we love to do. And by the way, welcome back, Najee. We're so happy to have you back.
Yeah,
Every time you're away, we're missing we're missing a limb. Let's just say that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
before we get this party started, where the party at? Tell me where that party at.
Right here, baby.
That party is right here. Party is right here, and it ain't going nowhere. So let me get kicked off by my Dodgers, and y'all sit and listen and be quiet, because I'm going to kick down my Dodgers. You sitting in Miami territory, Isaiah, where they're on a rebuild down there, by the way. And they have a ex-Dodgers coach who's coaching that team right now as a manager for the Miami Marlins. So expect the Miami Marlins to be on the come up in the next few years. Gents, I cannot say how gratified I was to watch that game on Saturday night after me and Isaiah wrapped up a show, and to watch the Dodgers go in there and just kick in Toronto's door. And they didn't not quite kick it in, but however, they went in there and they went in the Toronto's refrigerator and they ate whatever they wanted out of their refrigerator without asking. That's how I'm gonna term it. That
They
game for
started the
the
game
Dodgers.
down 0-3.
Excuse me?
They started the game down 0-3.
Who, Toronto did or the Dodgers?
No, the Dodgers. The
Yeah,
Dodgers
yeah.
started
The
the
Dodgers
game
were down
0-3. They
3,
had to come back and win
and
that.
I was not feeling good about that. When they hit those 3 runs and they came in, I was like, oh my God. But you can never give up when when you're fighting and when you're clawing and when you're just not you refuse to lose. And that's what the
Yeah.
Dodgers did. Now, here's a really sharp thing that I think Dave Roberts, who's the manager, outstanding manager, did for the Dodgers. He ended up putting Yoshinobu Yamamoto back in there. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is phenomenal. He is truly phenomenal, because what he did is he started 3 games and he went 3-0 against Toronto. All those other pitchers, Blake Snell, they even put Kershaw in there, and Kershaw was able to, not in this particular game, but the game before, or 2 games before, Kershaw was able to get the team out of a hole while it was in Los Angeles, because we were hearing of just about getting ready to lose, bases loaded, and Kershaw had one more pitch that he was going to either strike this guy out or he was going to walk him. If he would have walked him, it would have brought Toronto in, and Toronto would have been looking at a victory, more so to say. But I want to go back to this Game 7, because I like series with Game 7s versus a one-time Super Bowl, which football is completely different from baseball and basketball, so you can't even compare the 3 sports together. However, when you have that 7th game and you're on the road, this has to be one of the most historical wins in sports. And why I say that is Toronto wasn't going to lose this game at home. They didn't anticipate losing this game at home. And you should have saw how devastated their fans were and how devastated their coach, manager, John Snyder. He just was baffled, because at the end of the day, I would say 4 players stepped in and pretty much saved this game for the Dodgers, and with Yoshinobu Yamamoto being the first player to pitch 3 games, and those innings that he pitched, he was very effective. I mean, he was able to retire a ton of runners, and they just couldn't figure him out. It's like in a boxing match when you get a boxer and you think you can knock him out, but you just can't get a punch in on him and you can't get a good shot in on him. That's kind of like with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is from Japan, by the way, along with Shohei Ohtani and Roki Sasaki. So to summarize this whole thing, I would just say this. I am so proud of the Los Angeles Dodgers organization because it is one of the most classiest organizations in sports. Starts out with Mark Jacob, the owner. Magic Johnson is part of that ownership. And you should have seen how happy Magic was. I mean, Magic has got 16 championships between basketball and baseball right now. Can you imagine that? How blessed that brother is to have all of those championships, and for the Dodgers to pull that thing out on, on Saturday was just amazing. So you guys got anything to chime in on that with?
Well, I just second what you're saying, man. When you surround yourself with a group of good people and smart folks, man, this is the outcome, DC. You know it. I'm so proud of him too, man. And I mean, look at the things that he's even doing with Washington. I mean, Washington, this season is kind of like is really shift to we don't know what's going to happen now since Daniels got hurt last night, but just to see that light at the end of the tunnel where Washington Redskins was like a team that nobody respected no more, man. And you look at you have 50 Cent trying to play like he's a fan now, and guys going over there and enjoying the prosperity that they have over there at Washington. And of course, that's part of Magic's team of owners and investors that's all gotten together to make things work, and is a first class organization. And to see what the Dodgers doing, I mean, winning championships back to back like that. How often can you do that? You just can't. You got so many teams that's never won a championship.
Absolutely.
You got people, and then they're doing it back to back, and it's like no chance of them going backwards. I mean, they spend the type of money bringing in players that they need and losing coaches, and they still remain on top. And that's difficult all in itself. So, yeah, I'm actually proud of them, man. I'm proud of them. And I know you live over there and you a fan and you say all the beautiful things about what's going on with the Dodgers, and rightfully so. You're correct on it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, the pivotal players that came through when the clutch was there, Miguel Rojas. Miguel Rojas he used to play for Miami, and he contributed big time for the Dodgers with that home run that he hit in the seventh inning. Well, they were in the 11th inning because they had to go an extra inning, I believe, in this game. Andy Pages. Pages struggled the whole series trying to hit. And, I didn't think Andy Pages was going to be with the Dodgers, but I'm going to make a prediction now. Andy Pages, with that catch, that he caught that outfield run, the game would have been over. He caught that ball and it changed sides. Kike Hernandez. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on and on and on. I could name these players off. Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Mookie. Mookie came through. That last play that Mookie threw to first base on that double. Come on, man. The Dodgers has got it going on. They're trying to go for a three-peat, and who knows what may happen. However, it's very difficult to do back-to-back, just like Isaiah just stated. And, man, I'm proud to be a Dodgers fan today, and I'm going to sport my gear all day. I'm proud. You should have seen all the people wearing Dodgers gear around the city over the weekend. All the sports bars were packed with people with Dodgers gear on. And when you have a team, when you have a sports franchise that wins, it makes the whole city feel better about things. I mean, people can be proud of their team because they won and they went to that highest level to compete, and they won, and it makes everybody else, it inspires people. It gives you motivation to do in your own life what these guys did as a team, and they never gave up. They were pretty much, when they went back to Toronto, they were down one. And look, I didn't even feel like they were going to win this series, but they did. So congratulations, Los Angeles Dodgers. We're so happy to have you here as a team. And we love all of the players. We love the front office for the Dodgers, the ownership, and Dodger Stadium is historical. When you guys come to Los Angeles, we are going to a Dodgers game. I'm going to make sure you guys come during baseball season where we can go watch these guys play at the highest level. So, Andy Brown has got this first topic, and let's kick this first topic off, and it is breaking news. Hugh Freeze has been fired by Auburn. Hugh Freeze is a decent coach. He is not a bad coach. Hugh Freeze is not a scrub of a coach. However, he did not meet expectations for the Auburn faithful and the administrators and people who back that school and support that school. He was in for 3 years. They hired him out of Liberty. He turned Liberty completely around after he left Mississippi. And he kind of left Mississippi with a dark cloud over him because there were some, allegations that they're, recruiting and all of that other stuff popped up. So he ended up going to Liberty. He turned Liberty and he was able to take over Auburn for Brian Harsin, who was the coach, who had once coached at Boise State. So we can get back to the fact that these schools, they are so, the schools are so determined to get the right coach for these sports teams, whether it's basketball, whether it's baseball, football, all sports. Mainly football, it's a high stakes business now, as we can see. And with football, you just can't go wrong, or at least they think they cannot go wrong by luring coaches in with very, very lucrative deals. And I'm going to start with Isaiah on this because it all goes back to what we talked about in the past few shows. You have a coach that came in, they gave him a fairly lucrative deal, but it looks like Auburn had paid out $54 million between 3 coaches over the last 10 years. Does that make sense to you? Yes.
Of course it does.
So how does it make sense to you?
Well, the thing, what I mean by, of course it does. I'm thinking of every high school, college, pro. They're looking for wins right away. They're not looking for a guy who's going to take multiple years anymore to turn a team around. They're looking right away, and they don't care how much the money they pay you. They want you in there making a difference right away. And because it's been done before, DC, I've seen, even on a high school level, for instance, you take Teddy Bridgewater, come to Miami, his old alma mater, goes in there 1 year, first year as a head coach, go in there and win a state championship. So everybody has that same exact attitude because they don't think that it takes 2 years to turn an organization around. So then you go out there and spend upwards of $80 to $100 million on a coach. And if he don't fulfill that duty as in turning that team around and winning, they're going to be finding a way to get rid of you. And just like they gave you that big bag of money, they're going to throw you out of the door, pay you your money perhaps, or sometimes they try to swindle you out of your money where you can't get it like they're doing Franklin, and they don't really want to pay Franklin.
Well, they're talking about that rumored at LSU as well of Brian Kelly not getting a full payout.
Well,
so
guys,
that is a point.
Those guys, they're going to get their money. Those guys
they better get their money.
Rightfully so. They need to get paid. They signed a contract, honor your damn contract. Just because it didn't work out, that's not his fault. He just didn't fulfill his duty, and you signed him a contract, so pay the man. So I just want these guys to get paid because a contract is a contract. Because if you go out there and win and fulfill that money, boom, is a even kill. But if they lose and then they say, okay, we're going to get, but you don't want to sign a contract with them. There's nothing where
absolutely
you got that crystal ball saying you're going to go out there and bring these guys multiple championships. All the pieces got to fall in place, man. You got to get the right coaches behind you, not just that up front, man. You got to have your defensive coordinator, your offensive coordinator, your position coaches. Then you got to go out there and and really recruit your rear end off. And recruitment don't mean going to high schools no more. Go catch these players who ready to jump ship from other schools and bring them in some NIL money. And that's what it's all about. Because if you see all the teams that's winning right now, DC, they got a collective going on where they got great coaches, great players, and the school is supporting them 100%. So if you
Right.
don't have all of those things intact, you're going to waver somewhere. You're not going to win. Something going to go happen. It's going to be exposed that is not happening where you got everything intact. So, man, I just want to see some good, solid football and some great coaching, man. And a lot of these teams going to be making changes. And right now, I think it's upward of like 5 or 6 major schools that has openings now. Correct, DC?
Yeah, you're very close. 7 actually, but Auburn just opened up, so I believe that makes it 8. I mean, because you look at
Wow.
Stanford, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, Penn State, UCLA, Arkansas. Well, we already got a good idea who's gonna fill that one, but Florida Gators and now Auburn, and we might have another one because we're still looking at Florida State with Mike Norvell.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot
Yeah,
about Mike. He's got some grease on his feet too. Yeah, I forgot about him.
So,
Yeah.
so Najee, tell me this: out of all of these 8 jobs is open, do you think some of the coaches that are fired are going to be repositioned into some of these other schools? What would you say about that?
I wouldn't even be surprised if they just really almost swap out, like somebody from Florida State go to Auburn, for example. But I said this in the beginning, like when they had was when it was already getting rid of coaches, and then we were saying, but this coach has been loyal and then has been winning before. He just haven't been winning lately.
Right.
But when they start to show a trend of it, I say, bro, a lot of the lead, it look like it's going to be a lead thing now at this point. When you have that many teams in college just getting fired like that, whether they're not filling their promises, I guess you want to say, that, or just not winning, or just they just probably want them out the door saying that we need a new face in the locker room. So right now it's looking like a whole trend in NCAA.
I believe you, and that is so true because if you look at how they kind of position these coaches, they're plug and play to me in a lot of cases. Now with Hugh Freeze, he was 15 and 19 over 3 years with Auburn. I said all along, and
You
this
know,
is no
hard and
slight
hard,
on Hugh
man.
Freeze. I don't have anything personal against that man. I just thought Auburn should have been a little bit more thorough before they brought him in there. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not saying Hugh Freeze couldn't have done the job. It just, I think some of the baggage that followed him was potentially going to hold him back in some cases, which it didn't on the performance end of it. His team just didn't win. But I just think these schools need to really kind of focus on some of the things that intangibles that these coaches have or don't have, and they need to categorize all of that and put that in a better, I would say, a better position to make a decision on which coaches they want to come in. Now, who is Auburn? Let me start with you again, Najee. Who would Auburn be looking at right now?
Uh,
I mean, you got Saban, you got Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has got the biggest name out
Saban
there
is
right now.
Yeah, maybe him, but
Lane Kiffin better not
Saban is
go
not coming
anywhere.
back to
Yeah, I
Nick
don't think
Saban is
Saban is
not
coming
coming back to
back
coach
either.
no more.
Yeah.
He is not. He is
Not only
done.
that, DC,
I wouldn't even want
why
that for him
would
to come back.
DC? Let me interject with this, man. You just put Najee on the spot because why in the hell would Nick Saban go back to Alabama? He just left Alabama. He gonna go to Auburn now. The coach back in Alabama. He ain't doing that, man. Nick Saban has got the best job imaginable right now. He's right in the midst of football. He's not got to go out there and worry about all of these different personalities and stuff like that. And he's getting paid enormous money to just fly around, live in these fancy hotels and live out of a suitcase, and he's enjoying that thing. Don't get it twisted. He loved the limelight and the fussing and cussing and what he do to these players to get the hype and all that FaceTime that he's usually getting on an individual basis. But Nick Saban is filthy rich, man. Do you understand that?
Oh, for
Nick
sure.
Saban
For sure.
owns multiple Mercedes dealerships around the country. He do not need another dime from coaching. So he's not going back out there, man. He can hang it. And plus, he's a blue tag. Nick Saban is well in his 70s, man. He's not going back out there. He's the antique. And the game has changed, too. And that's the reason why he left in the first place. So he's not going back out there. So people need to zip it when it comes to Nick Saban. He's not going back out there no more, man. If you don't believe it, look at what's going on in North Carolina. He finally won his third game, I think it is.
You're talking about Bill Belichick.
With Belichick. He just, I think it's his third game he won, you know.
Well, this is his first conference game for sure. I mean, he didn't win any conference games, so he did win this conference game against Syracuse over the past
that
weekend.
That don't mean a damn thing. His season is in the doo-doo hole. It's in the toilet, man. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere, man. Watch. He gonna either get fired or he gonna quit. Because he's not gonna have no
He's not gonna get fired. He'll quit before you get fired, I think.
Well, what I'm saying to you, DC, he's not going to have the same type of, things that he had in pros. He's too old, and the game has passed him by. He's not going to have that same success, man. He don't have a Tom Brady, and we've seen what happened to him when Brady left him. He don't have that type of player over there, man.
Exactly.
Brady was his catalyst for winning all of those championships. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Well stated. And you guys both hit on some good cylinders when it came to talking about Nick Saban, because I totally agree with you. Nick Saban's, I don't see him coming back. I just don't see it. Now, Lane Kiffin, I'm going to make another bold prediction to you. Lane Kiffin is not going anywhere unless they give him a couple of $100 million. If they throw the kitchen sink and then two other kitchen sinks at Lane Kiffin, maybe he would consider it. And, he's got right now, I mean, it's so many jobs open, especially the Power 5 jobs that he would be interested in. He could pick and choose where he wanted to go. I just don't see him leaving Mississippi. He's very well liked in Mississippi. He's winning, and that's what keeps people liking him and respecting him. Because if it turns on a dime on him and he in the next few years they go down into the toilet, guess what? He'll be on the chopping block as well. Just like Dabo Swinney just got through, going through an argument with officiating over the weekend, and it looks like Clemson has been fined for that. Listen, I'm going to speak directly to Dabo Swinney. You don't like the portal. You don't like the transfer portal. You don't like NIL. You just stay and keep doing what you're doing. Recruit them high school players. And guess what? You're going to be arguing with officials for the next few years. And then little by little, they may uproot you out of Clemson if you don't turn it around, because those people in Clemson are not used to going through these ups and downs and these trials and tribulations of that team losing, especially at home. And you've had several home losses this year. So, with that said, there's a lot of activity going on with coaching. Coaching is high stakes. It's a high priority. These coaches land on their feet when they get fired. It may be an ego damage within a few days, and then they should go out, play golf, do whatever. I said the other day, and I told Brian Kelly, go ahead and just take 6 years off so you can get your $54 million. Because if you come back, they have an opportunity to negotiate your money down, to go up in the booth for 6 years. I think he should. Wouldn't you think he should, Isaiah?
Yeah, but according to that contract and the way we spoke about it the other day, DC, there's some dynamics in that contract that says that he has to go out there and seek a job. And if he seek any job, he would get hired. So I don't know how he could wiggle his way out of that.
True.
I mean,
True.
it's just kind of difficult. Is a trick bag when it comes to that because any name, any school rather that actually want a good coach and he comes in, he'll wind up getting hired. So then they have to absorb some of that money. So it's a catch 22 with him on this contract. You see, I mean, other than that, he would be able to keep all that money unless he hurry up and get a damn job and so in the booth where he don't want to go and coach it. So it's a matter of them saying that you got to go look for a coaching job. If they got that written in there, as opposed to him being hired as a commentator, so when there was jobs open up, he go get a commentator job. He's gonna look like, why should I go look for a coaching job when I got a commentating job? So you got to pay me. That's what he needs to be doing, trying to get in a booth somewhere so he don't have to go look for a coaching job. And
Well,
that's the only way he can wiggle his way out of it.
I'm looking at this right now, and it says Jimbo Fisher's contract. He got his full $75 million. To my understanding, he did. His contract was fully guaranteed for the duration of the contract, and Brian Kelly contract is fully guaranteed. Now, like you said, LSU have probably stuck that in there to somewhat protect themselves in this contract negotiation. But either way you look at it, LSU is going to have to take a brunt of that contract, and he's going to walk away with a brunt of the money. I just think he will, depending on what he decides to do, whether he decides to seek employment or not. At the end of the day, coaching is going to get even more so higher in terms of contract because the next coach that comes into any of these schools, especially if you're looking at Auburn, you're looking at LSU, in Florida, in schools like that, they're going to want equal or more, and they're going to want these guarantees. If they can't guarantee them, they're going to be spending quite a long time looking for coaches, right?
Yeah. And just like you mentioned the thing, earlier about Mississippi's coach going anywhere else, Lane Kiffin going anywhere else. Man, Lane Kiffin got it made, DC. He really does. Because think about it. They gave him tons of money. This is a program that he, went into where they was on a down spiral. And now they're on the top of their game. They've beaten everybody now. And why would he leave? To go to a Florida, to go to another, Penn State. Why?
Right.
Because those little extra few dollars, and then he got to go in there and rebuild.
It's like starting over, right? In a lot of ways, it's kind of like you starting over.
That's what it is. That's exactly what he'll be doing when he got everything established right there. His name is on fire right now. Everybody wants to pull and tug at this guy. And we've seen it as we're fans, and plus we're reporters, so we knew how good he was when he was with Saban under his leadership. We knew how good he was. And then, of course, he went to FAU as a head coach over there and turned that program around. And then here come Ole Miss come to calling, and he jumped up the ship and went over there, and he's winning. So
True.
why would you go lateral and go to another place where that tradition is different? They're gonna want you to do the exact same thing. Where I think he went like 5-5 his first year, and then now it's been an uphill thing from now. He's gonna have to do that with Florida. And if he go to Florida and go 5-5, they're gonna be pissed with him then.
Oh, for sure.
If he go 5-5, if he go to Florida,
sure.
If he go to Penn State and go 5-5, they're gonna be pissed with him because they're gonna look at like and say, damn, if he was gonna go 5-5, we should have just kept Franklin, James Franklin.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
And then now we paying Franklin plus this dude. It's really it's a shaky situation when it comes to this, man. But stay where you are. He need to just stay where Lane Kiffin, stay your tail right where you are, man, because otherwise that thing ain't that grass with all that fertilizer.
It's not greener on the other side as we speak, right?
Yes,
and it always looks greener and the extra money, because see, a lot of these coaches, especially like Lane Kiffin, they don't need the money. I mean, they've made so much money in their past jobs as coaches. Now, if you're an up and coming coach, let's just say you were at a smaller school or whatever, and you're trying to make your way up the ladder, and you want to turn around and get paid, handsomely, kind of like what lured Charlie Strong out of Louisville. It was the money. It was the money going to Texas that lured him, and the challenge of turning a big program like that.
I forgot Miami's offensive coordinator. What was his name? What's the offensive coordinator name at
The current one?
Miami? Yeah.
Shannon Dawson.
The coordinator. You're Shannon Dawson. Now, Shannon Dawson, if Shannon Dawson name was swirling around any of these schools, I could see him taking any of these jobs.
Absolutely.
Even though I don't want him to leave Miami, and I should shut my mouth about this, but if his name was swirling around these jobs, I could see him taking a job like that. But a Lane Kiffin who's already solidified himself as yes, and got everything going his way, and to go lateral somewhere else and then have to do all of this horrendous rebuilding. Dude, man,
that is that's a good point.
Couple dollars won't make.
Great advice. Great advice. So Najee, I have a question for you. Do you think several NFL coaches who are on the chopping block should consider some of these college jobs?
They should. I mean, they can, because at least you don't have to worry about egos. The only thing is now you have to really build on if you have the patience to try to teach and bring the youth in the sport. That's going to be two different challenges, because some people don't have the patience to have to then to grow a player, and versus just telling them what they need to do. So I mean, it really depends on the individual. If they're willing to do that, and I had to deal with egos, because normally, I mean, what teenager really has an ego when they're still learning, versus established players or even players that even won a Super Bowl before. So it depends on the individual, man.
Okay, so here are the NFL coaches on the hot seat right now, and I'll go down the list really fast. First coach is Zach Taylor for the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati does not look the way they look since Joe Burrow been out. I mean, Joe Flacco has come in and done a good job for someone at his age.
They should have won yesterday.
Right. But they came up short, so he's on that hot seat.
They gave away with 50 seconds left.
Well, that even makes it worse.
You didn't mention Harbaugh yet.
Harbaugh is not going to be on the hot seat. He's not going to be on the hot seat.
No, he's on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah, he's not going to be on the hot seat. Not now. Steve Bisciotti actually believes Harbaugh can turn that team around. It's just one of those fluke seasons where they didn't have what was expected of them, and they came up short. It's kind of like what Mike Tomlin's been going through for the last 10 years at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Their quarterback got hurt too, so that's another
absolutely.
excuse.
Raheem Morris is the second one, but I don't think Raheem Morris is going anywhere from Atlanta. They've been on a slump as well. Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland, guess what? He might be gone. All because of his decision-making process. And Kevin Stefanski is a pretty smart, offensive-minded coach. He just made some bad decisions this year on how he's handled Shedeur Sanders, how he's handled that team. He's got a lot of disgruntled players that don't want to be there anymore. So Kevin Stefanski might be somebody that could go to the college level and coach at that level, I believe. Brian Daboll is another one. Brian Daboll, who coaches the New York Giants. I think Brian Daboll would be a good fit in several schools, and I've said that already with where I think he would fit.
Did they win yesterday?
But
did they win yesterday?
I don't know. I can check.
I think they beat KC. I think.
But the thing
Buffalo beat KC.
That was Bills to beat them yesterday. Yeah. Buffalo. Yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable, man.
The 49ers beat the Giants. But the thing is, they had two gruesome injuries already. They lost Neighbors and they lost Scatterboo for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Scatterboo he's a very talented back out of Arizona State. Cam Scatterboo. Yeah, he's got a both. Yeah, he's a very solid player.
Atlanta was doing good, man. I wonder how that thing turned, man, because Atlanta, they were doing good with Raheem Morris over there, man, and all of a sudden now they start losing.
Well, I think it has to
I
do.
don't think they believe into their quarterback. I don't think they believe
Well,
in their quarterback.
Michael Penix Jr. He was on a roll for a short time. He was doing really well. He was throwing to the right people. He was running the plays like they were supposed to be run. And then of late, he hadn't been playing at that level. So that's probably why Atlanta is not as competitive as they used to be in the first part of the season as opposed to this part of the season right now. But I do believe Raheem Morris is not going anywhere. So the two guys that I think on this list right now that could be or three. I'm going to just name three. Well, four. Mike McDaniel. I didn't mention his name. Mike McDaniel is probably going to be gone at the end
I
of the
know
year,
it.
especially
I
if
did it for you, but go ahead.
yeah. So go ahead.
No, I'm saying I did that one for you, the Dolphins
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Mike
So you
McDaniel
have
is
to
going
worry
to be
about it.
gone more than likely. They mentioned a guy at Arizona, Jonathan Gannon. I don't know much about him, but I know Arizona is not where they need to be as well. And then you look at
Okay.
the two that I know more than likely is going to be gone is Zach Taylor and Kevin Stefanski. I'm going to go ahead and predict it. Kevin Stefanski is not going to survive with this team being as talented as it is, especially in the skill positions and on defense. If Jimmy Haslam give him another year, I would be shocked, but it could happen, you know. So these are potential possible candidates that could bolt over to the college level, I would think, you know. So
Let me ask you guys something. You think McDaniel would do well as a college collegiate head football coach?
that all
He
depends, I
shouldn't get
think.
bullied by no teenager. If he gonna get bullied by teenagers, then he don't need to coach then.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying this to say, I mean, I like McDaniels as an offensive coordinator, guys. I think he's a good play caller, but I don't think he's leadership wise where he can like control the whole entire organization. Where I just think he don't have a handle on the entire team. If he just was focused on that one job as an offensive coordinator, I think that's where his success lies. But to have him to oversee the entire program, I think that's where he falls short, DC, because he's been successful as an offensive coordinator, very successful as an offensive coordinator. And that's why they hired him at the Miami Dolphins because he did so well as an offensive coordinator. But I just feel like a guy who's looked like he's about 14 or 15 years old with an iPad in his hand or a clipboard in his hand, running around with his hair all glued back like he just got out of the shower. I mean, the guys just don't respect him enough, man, because he don't have that harsh tone of this gritty guy who gonna get on you if you do something wrong. He one of those guys. Come on, guys, just go ahead and get back in. Nah, that kind of stuff, man. That don't work in football. They might like you as a person, but you let them get away with too much stuff, and these guys will run you over. And that's what I think. That's why I think you need to just call plays, man. Because, like I said before, when he went and gave Tua some sugar in his head, I was done with it. I was like, oh hell no, man. Ooh, no, man. You can't do that. So that's the reason why I'm thinking. I mean, he just don't have the control of that team.
Well,
Yeah.
all of those are valid points. You spoke about Mike McDaniel, and that we'll see what happens to him at the end of the year when they have to make decisions. Right now, the current GM is interim. Champ Kelly, solid as a rock. I hope he get the job permanently.
Yeah. So
I
do I,
thought he should
DC.
have never lost that job in Las Vegas because him and
Yeah.
Antonio
Right.
Pierce, they took that Vegas team at a really, really troubling time on the field, performance wise, and they were able to turn that team around. So Champ Kelly has the resume and he has the experience to be able to make Miami a better team when it comes to that. And since I mentioned his name, he just pulled off his first trade with trading Jaelan Phillips,
Yeah,
who's a
I've
star
seen that this
defensive
morning.
edge rusher
Yeah,
to the Philadelphia Eagles. So that was a power move right there. 4 draft
yeah,
picks, you know,
hmm
and it doesn't
yeah.
get. I mean, you can tell already that he's gotten
They should
off
have made some moves.
with a running start with making moves.
Right.
So Stephen Ross, interview Champ Kelly for the full-time job because I think he'll do a great job with your organization. I'm gonna just leave it like that. So let's move on to this next topic and let's talk about the University of Miami because it's long overdue. I put it off this far away from the beginning because I just think that Miami has disappointed a lot of fans. They've disappointed a lot of supporters, faithful. Um, they disappointed Isaiah. They've disappointed me. They've disappointed Najee. However, I'm not going to trash Miami and I'm not going to trash the coaches. I'm not going to trash the players because they have to get together collectively and figure out where the problem lies with this team. How did they go up into SMU and lose? How did they lose against Louisville at home? You know, things like that is, to me, I think those things need to be looked over more so than just saying, you know, here, yesterday you said Mario Cristobal was excellent. Now he's garbage today. I don't operate like that. I think the coaching at Miami is solid. I think the talent at Miami is solid. It's just that let's just look at strategy. Would you say it's strategy, Isaiah, from play calling to, you know, a general strategy? What would you say about that?
Well, it's strategy and it's also being committed to something, DC. And I think that they got away from things that they deem, what we all deem was successful in the beginning of the year. Understand something. And you know, I was big on this in the beginning of the year because I was comparing these guys, not to say they was as good as, but the same thing that they were doing when they were winning championship, they were doing that. So one thing is sure, they were downfield blocking. And you know when you downfield block, these running backs will get bust big runs. When you see downfield blocking, your receiver get enormous runs. When you gain tackling, you stop folks. When
Mm-hmm.
you start getting where you want to freaking just put your body on guys, every time you get ready to make a tackle, it's not going to be a collision defensive players. If you can grab his damn shoestring, grab him because the object of a tackle is to get the man on the ground. That's it. So quit trying to run people down where you can hit them. Grab their toe, tackle them. That's all you do. They got away from all that stuff. That's why you see people bust get the first down on 4th and 3, or they try some these little things like that. That's why they don't respect us on defense. They start going for stuff. DC, you remember
Oh yeah.
the team we were playing with punt the ball because they wasn't trying to advance the ball on no 4th and 3 or 4th and 1. They would just give it back to us. They'll kick the ball off. All of these things they got away from, and equivalent to them losing. There's no way Louisville they should have lost to Louisville, and they sure the hell shouldn't have lost to SMU this past weekend. And they everything is self inflicted, which means it can be fixed. We didn't get beat. We gave them the damn game, and that's what's wrong right now. And I don't see it blaming it on the coaches saying the coach is not good. These coaches are good. The players are good. They just got to put it
It's the
all back together
process.
again, like they
It's
had in the
a
beginning of the season.
process, right? Would you say it's a
That's it.
process?
That's it. Yep. Yes, it is. That's it. It's
Absolutely.
just the basics. That's it.
Go back to the basics of playing
Yep.
football. And right now they've dropped down to number
Just flat
18.
out smash.
They have dropped to
18.
18.
18, man. It's done. I told you that, DC. I said I watched they going to be almost out of everything when they lost this game. They almost freaking in the top 20 instead of the top 10. 18 is where they fell
And
from.
it's only
And they've been
12
falling the
teams are
last
going to
couple of
be
weeks.
invited, right? to
Yes,
this
that means
playoff.
he ain't got no chin. They outside looking in. They be a peeping Tom now. They
Oh,
ain't
they
getting in there,
way
man.
outside looking in right now. They climbing up on a ladder to a peeping Tom window, if you ask me.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Um, do you see any light at the end of the tunnel for him this year, or it's just a wrap? Would you say that, Najee?
You know, well,
Nah,
it's a
they cooked
wrap.
this year.
Shit.
It's a
They
wrap,
cooked this
right?
year, man. They cooked, bro. They done. See, I won't even say they 100% got away from what they were doing. I mean, they started off with Carson Beck. He was new for the team. The team's probably starting to figure them out a bit, man. They don't find out their weaknesses. They find out where they could probably intimidate them, or snatch their heart out. And now people are adapted to it. It could really be that too. It don't have to necessarily be the Canes not executing what they was doing in the beginning of the season. Because after they knocked off the better teams of the season, we thought they was gonna go undefeated. Now they're starting to lose the teams that they shouldn't have been losing to.
Yeah, that is well stated.
Yep.
Isaiah, you did mention that you noticed that there was some disagreement on Miami's sideline. Did you pick up anything from that
Well,
during
it
this
seemed
game
like,
against SMU?
Cristobal. Yeah, Cristobal has a few words with his offensive coordinator, which is ugly when you look at it. You couldn't hear verbally, but the body language told it all, man. And it was almost a sign of disrespect the way the offensive coordinator had their back and forth and walk off with that type of intense look on
Mm-hmm.
his face because they had a total disagreement. And that type of stuff cannot be shown amongst the media or the players if you want to keep things intact because that disagreement like that will show you how your organization is not as tight as you will really would want it, man, because it is that cohesive, tight knit thing supposed to happen inside the locker room. It's just like you got a marriage where you got a wife and a husband. If you out here arguing and cussing each other out and the kids are sitting right there, what you think the kids gonna think? So that's what's going on right now. That interchange what we seen over the weekend. So you definitely can't have that happen.
Well, when you losing and when things are not going well, it just sets up, for things like that to happen on a sideline in on
Yeah,
national
but
TV.
that's
It,
some type of a disagreement. DC
yeah.
is what I'm saying. Somebody said something
Mm-hmm.
or did something that did not work, and that for that blown that interaction.
Sure.
Because whether it was a time
where
or put time out when it shouldn't have been called, or that play was called when you said, "No, let's do it this way," and then they didn't, the play didn't work. So that's why you had that interaction there. And that right there is something where you show a disagreement. It's just like the kids say, "Oh, mom, I want to go down to the store and buy something." Your dad said, "Nah, man, don't go down there." And the mom said, "Well, let me just take the kid down there anyway." Oh, you do what? You going to take the kid down there anyway against his will and go down there and freaking spend too much money or either get in a car accident or something happened where you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have been there anyway. So that's why that interaction was like that, and it didn't look good on TV, man. It looked ugly, if you ask me. It looked like almost like the Keyshawn and Gruden thing in Tampa.
Well,
Looked just like
here's my take on that because I've seen it with different teams. I've seen it with different coaches. I'm not going to put a lot on that because I've seen Saban throw tantrums on the sideline at coaches. I've seen Saban jump in offensive coordinators, coaches' faces with a tantrum. I've seen him jump in front of defensive coordinators' faces with a tantrum on national TV. I've seen other coaches. Saban's not the only one. I think just during the heat and the height of the game, when things are not going right, coaches tend to have, interactions that might not be deemed as, favorable for them to be showing on the sideline, if that
that's
makes
not the
sense.
same, DC. That's not the same,
What's the
man.
same? What's the
It's
difference
not.
between Saban throwing a freaking
A
tantrum on the
huge difference.
sideline
A
versus Mario
huge difference.
Cristobal and
A
Shannon
huge
Dawson
difference,
having one?
DC.
Huh?
DC, that's a huge difference, man.
How is it?
Damn, bro.
Explain it.
Sometimes.
Explain it.
How long we been watching Nick Saban coach, man? For 20, 30 years?
He's not an exception. Nick Saban shouldn't be given a pass on that. Is if that's the case. Why would you give Nick Saban a pass on that? That's all I'm
ready to
asking.
show you why. Because you should know this. Ever since we've known Nick Saban has been a ruthless son of a gun. Ever since we ever known him. Cristobal is just a kitty cat, bro. You know that, man. Cristobal, you ever heard Cristobal raise his voice? No. He's this mild-mannered guy who just go over and say, "You guys ready to get on the punt team on the field?" Shit like that, man. He's never pissed off. So to see an interaction between these coaches, that's not normal, man. Nick Saban's crap is normal. He's normal like that with his players. He's normal like that with his coaches. And he's damn sure normal like that with the media. You ever see Cristobal get pissed off with the media?
No.
So how? You can't compare these two, man. You cannot compare these two.
Well, I'm not giving any coach a pass on the sideline, whether they throw a tantrum, whether they have a bad interaction with another coach. I've seen it. I saw Randy Shannon with Mark Whipple on the sideline. The same type of situation.
Okay, but the outcome is just what we're saying. We've seen the disrespect from everybody when that came. When it came to that, it was the disrespect is what we're saying. Nick Saban don't play that disrespect stuff, man. That's what I'm trying to allude to. He ain't gonna let you get away with anything, man. And he's stern across the board. That's why you have to respect him. You get a stern guy across the board. With the rest of these guys like Cristobal, you don't have that stern thing across the board like that, man. You don't.
There needs to be some changes made in order to be a consistent winner. So, we'll see how Miami season play out the rest of the season. Hopefully they'll finish the season out strong and be, in position to at least go to a good bowl game. And then, I'm not counting them completely out. Well, I'm going to count them out because at 18, how can you move back up with all of these teams that have 0 losses or 1 losses? I agree with you.
Or either way. And I said that a long time ago, DC, because remember, they've been moving out of it for 2 weeks. Even the last game they won, they still jumped to 10. So they was easing their way right out of it.
They were actually tied with BYU at 10. There was 2 number 10s. It wasn't even 11.
Them out the door.
Yeah.
When the last time you heard it was 2 down at one part of us?
At one position on the AP poll. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
That means they were trying to get your behind out of the scene where you out of it. And they did it for themselves, got beat, and then they're out of it for good.
Absolutely. So let's move on to this next topic, and let's talk a little bit about the Jayden Daniels injury. And we elaborated a little bit of that earlier. Do you think that Washington has any kind of chance of making the playoffs now?
Nah.
Well, the next man step up. That's what it's all about. The next man up, man. Even if they got to trade and get somebody in there, fulfill him. You see, this is a sign of a good team, DC. You and I have been around. Oh, no, you know it too. When your elite player go down, your next guy got to step up. Period.
That's Marcus Mariota.
Your next guy got to be right in there and put him in there and let him do his thing, man. Because you can't have that freaking huge drop off where this was our only hope. That means you don't have a good team. Ask my Raiders there. They freaking lost Lamar and they went the toilet.
But the Commander's been hurt all season already.
Yeah, and Daniels has been out before earlier in the season with an injury, right?
Yeah, he's been in and out the season because he's playing every other game. Deebo Samuel's been hurt. McLaurin, he's been hurt, and Ertz's been shaky. So it's not really just it's just not Jayden Daniels. The whole team has been hurt. And then, like I was just telling some people already, that I didn't think he was gonna play good last night anyway. It's because he's keep coming in and out of the games, the rosters. He will play one game, then he won't play the next game. I said he can't get consistent. He has no rhythm in being an offensive player if he can't stay healthy. Right. And then guess what? The backup can't either, because who we going to adapt to? We're going to adapt to your the first string or the second string, and most of the time they play two different styles anyway. For example, with Cooper Rush and Lamar Jackson, they play two completely different styles of football, and how can we adjust to that every other game? There was no consistent play.
Well, it looks as though Marcus Mariota is going to finish the season out. I would believe for
Yeah, he has no choice
the
at
Washington
this point.
football team. He's the next man up, just like Isaiah just said. So he's going to have to step it up and keep that team competitive at least, because that's what he's there
At
for
least, yeah,
as a backup quarterback, right?
Yep.
yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about, because Annie Brown has one more before we call it a day, and let's talk a little bit about Ja Morant. We're going to shift over to the NBA right now, and this is Najee's stronghold. Tell us a little bit about
Mm.
what you think about Ja Morant, because there is allegations or rumors, should I say, that could he be trade bait to go somewhere?
He can, but the thing is, who wants to deal with that nonsense that he's bringing up? If he doesn't have off the court issues, he's hurt. If he's not hurt, he has some stupid antics he like to do. So who really wants to put up with that? It's not like he's a proven winner. He's an exciting player to look at because just his hopping ability he has and the
He's
flair
definitely
he
got
has when he
sky
do
and
play.
ability,
Like
right?
I watched him play that exactly because he's one of the highest jumpers in the league at 6'3", 6'4". But the thing is, like I was trying to say, like bro, like who wants to put up with that? Who wants to put up with the attitude? I watched the last game they had, and I was wondering why he was playing the way he was, why
Mm-hmm.
he was still at 8 points. He had 8 points like mid second quarter. He finished the game with 8 points. Disinterest every time he got the ball at
Wow.
point/shooting guard. He leads the team in assists. So I was wondering why is he not? Because he played the Lakers, and I know for a fact that he gets off on playing the Lakers because it's just certain teams that a certain athlete just can't wait to play. And
Mm-hmm.
when I saw him playing disinterest, I'm like, why is he playing like this? And then of course that's when he had the interview after the game. Every time they asked him about something like, "Oh, did you look like you were interested in playing? Why you didn't play as much minutes?" He kept saying, "Ask the coaches, ask them. Don't ask me. Ask them. Ask them." I said, "Oh Lord." Now is something clearly going between him and the office or him in the locker room that that's hindering his play. And then guess what? He gets suspended the next game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very unfortunate because
So
Ja is
so you
such a
tell me.
talented young man, you
Hmm.
know. He's very talented with basketball. You can tell. Um, just to be honest with you, he's playing a game that millions of other people would love to be a part of. And I just wish young players like John Morant could appreciate and be humbled enough to understand that, look, you're playing a game that tens of thousands of people would love to play, or who are tempted to play at that level, and they didn't make it. And you've made it to the promised land and gotten over that hump. And all of these all of these things is sidetracking you. You need to start really thinking serious about those things before it's too late and before you lose it. Because once you lose it, once it's gone, it's
Yeah,
gone.
between his shoes selling like crazy. Like he really finna mess all that up. Like when me and Isaiah went to the Big Three championship, I was telling him, look on the court who's wearing shoes. He said, whose shoes are those? I said, those Ja Morant's. Everybody's wearing Ja Morant shoes in here. If it wasn't
Yep.
last season's Ja Morant, it was the brand new ones that just came out. So I said, oh boy, I said these shoes finna sell. Matter of fact, the multicolored ones they have. They
Hmm.
was wearing that before the shoe dropped to the public. They was
Right.
already wearing them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just one of those things where um, he's going to have to get a grip on things. And if he doesn't, he might be on the outside looking in if he don't watch out. And we wish him the best here. I mean, because we want him to be successful, because it's entertainment and people love to see players like him play. So that's the ultimate right there, you know, for him to turn it around.
Me personally, I was trying to make Jaw one of my favorite young players to play in the game, because of course when I first started watching basketball, Jordan was kind of like really out of there basically. Then
Mhm.
I fell in love watching Allen Iverson and Kobe. Then on the sidebar was T Mac and Vince Carter. Then after that, it ended up being Steph, Durant. Now them guys are in their late 30s, so I'm like, bro, okay, well, Jaw's in his mid 20s, so let me get Zion, let me get Jaw. Zion don't care about his weight. He don't care if he plays or not. Jaw can't stay on the court whether he's hurt or he do
Why
something
you left
stupid.
LeBron and Wade out, man?
Oh, I was never a Wade fan. Never.
Why you left LeBron and Wade out, man? He was just as good as the
I
rest of
was
these
never. I
guys,
was
man. What's wrong with you?
first. I was.
He's the man.
Okay.
This
Anybody? No,
man,
hang on.
he don't five guys
Anybody
out,
that's a anybody that's a basketball fan, you can't be a Kobe and a LeBron fan. It's either or.
It's either or. You're going to take one side or the other.
It's either or. I've been a Kobe fan for over 20 years. It's either or.
Why you leave
Either
Wade
or.
out, man?
You can't be both. You can't be both. And then me
Wade was
personally,
down here
I got a
winning
little
championship with the
back in
305.
2004. Back in 2004, I got a little salty when Shaq showed that he enjoyed playing in Miami and enjoyed playing alongside of Wade. I'm like, oh, I said, what you doing? I said, who's this new guy? It's supposed to be you and Kobe. What you doing? So of course, me, especially as a teenager, you know, that didn't set well with me. So I stuck with Kobe. Rather, he wasn't making the playoffs. He was getting knocked out the first round. So when he got back on his feet, winning without Shaq.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now
Then he
you can't be a
fall in love.
LeBron and Kobe fan. You can't do that. That's forbidden in the NBA.
That's
basically
a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
I had
So,
a judge at in DC because you know this man grew up in the 305 and he always going against the grain, bro.
he always going against the
Unbelievable.
305
Yeah,
down there, huh?
man. God, oh, man. You know one good thing about it, he is a Kane, so
Yeah.
that's all right.
That matters.
You know?
That matters to me,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah, but they don't like the Dolphins. He don't like the Heat. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Look what type of pain that them franchises give you.
Well, especially the Dolphins more so. I would put that more
what
over the
DC
Heat.
said. What DC said about the Dodgers. You remember what DC said about the Dodgers?
Yeah, DC don't bring him into it because
No. DC, what did you say about the Dodgers? You said when they win, it gives the city hope, and it gives them extra motivation to wake up in the morning and do their job, right?
Absolutely.
Well, the
Absolutely.
Dolphins been losing. The Dolphins been losing for the last 50 years. Now you see why Miami people are so miserable?
No, that's
Answer the
true
question.
because we gotta be talking about my
Answer the
Marlins.
question.
We got our Panthers. Florida Panthers been winning down here. We just won the Stanley Cup.
He put Isaiah, he put you on
you
Front Street on that one, man.
put
He
me
put you on
nothing.
blast.
No, he's not.
He put you
We're
on Front
talking
Street on that one.
No, he's not, man. Because he went lateral to talk about baseball instead of football. Because that's what we were
Hey,
talking
baseball
about.
to me is relevant. It doesn't matter which sport.
I was using that
It's
analogy
relevant.
that DC said. I
Yeah,
wasn't
but
using baseball. I was using what he was saying.
But we still got our Panthers just won a Stanley Cup last year, man.
The Florida
And you ain't
Panthers,
mentioned
yes.
that. Yes, and
Did you watch
that don't
that?
give you hope.
Did you watch
Huh?
that?
Of course
Did
I
you
did.
watch
What's
that?
wrong
Do
with
you
you?
watch hockey? Do you watch Isaiah? Do you watch hockey?
I don't watch
I
no
watch
hockey,
hockey
man.
just as
I'm
sure
getting
you over there
interested
with
in hockey, but do you actually consistently
I
watch
do
hockey?
it. I do.
So
Watch
you
our
watch a hockey
team,
game. I'm
man.
gonna hold you to that now.
What you mean? You ain't gotta hold me to it. You can come to a game with me if you want. Fly out
Absolutely.
here. You got money. All that money you got, fly your behind down here. Let's go to the
Well,
hockey game.
if they play the LA Kings, I'll come down there and watch it. How
Come
about
on
that?
down. Come on down. Just come on down. You like Tampa? Let's go to freaking Tampa, and we're gonna go over in Tampa if you want. You don't
Yeah,
have to come
the
to
Tampa's
Miami.
got a good hockey team too, and
Of course,
they're
just come
solid.
on down here, man.
Yeah.
I'll drive over there and meet you over there. And
I'm gonna have to put
you
that
know,
on the
check this
calendar
out.
for next year for
Let's
sure.
do this, DC.
Yeah.
Let me see that guy over there with all that Raven stuff on. This is what can happen. I could literally drive up the state and grab Najee, and then we'll go over there and meet you over there in Tampa if you want. It
Okay.
doesn't matter, man.
That
If you
sounds
want to go
good.
to a hockey game, beautiful. Or even Najee can meet me over there because he like to get missing every now and then. So we'll drive separate
That's
because he
crazy.
like
Absolutely.
to leave early, especially if his
Okay,
team ain't
they
winning or lose. He'll leave.
Absolutely.
that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
final topic Annie Brown wanted to talk about is Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers center, fined $50,000 for a lewd gesture, for doing a lewd gesture during a game against Boston on Friday. Now, I just need to find out what are they referring to as a lewd gesture, because according to Embiid on his X account, and this is Embiid quote, y'all better start finding the refs for doing the lewd blocking foul gesture since I'm not allowed to do it. What do you think about that? That could be Najee. What do you think about that, Najee?
Yeah, he's because he keep doing that immature. I don't know if y'all ever used to follow WWF World Wrestling Federation at the time when you had D-Generation X Pop, Triple H, Road Dogg. They used to like to do the suck it gesture. So he liked to do that on the court a lot. Him and
Oh,
Anthony Edwards.
well,
So
I didn't know
you
that
got,
was
of course,
what that was about.
of course, you got kids there. So
Yeah,
he really
Yeah,
just
of
make
it's
the
a
course it
sport
family
is,
look
man.
event,
very
right?
crazy.
Of course it
Yeah,
is.
and he's 7'1", 7'2", and he got
So
that big
everybody
old
in the
body
world could
doing
see
that.
us.
It's very obvious. I mean, and then you're arguably the best player on the court when you do it, so it
Yeah.
stands out even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think that's sad though, DC, when you got a guy who's that immature to do stuff like that. You know, your feelings gotta be harnessed some kind of way and understand that people look up to these guys,
they
man.
do,
Just
especially
they look
children,
up to
young
them.
people, young
Children
kids and
really do,
stuff.
man.
Yeah,
You know, if you take a kid to a game and once they go to school on that Monday, how they express how they, had such a good time or whatever the case to a game, whether it's a Dolphin game or any kind of pro game where these guys who they see on TV, they get a chance to meet. And then here you got a nutcase doing gestures like that. It's just ugly. It don't look good. And they need to pull them to the side and say, listen, man, not only you just are they going to suspend him or a game, or they just going to fine him? Because
yeah.
I don't
Let's
know the
just go as a
severity of it.
fine
They
right
fined him
now.
50 grand.
Yeah,
They fined him
Well,
50 grand. They're not gonna do both.
yeah, but I hope he get a chance to sit down and reflect how devastating that is for a kid to see stuff like that, man. Because it's not okay when you do that, man. Because it affects people, man. And then
mm-hmm.
these little kids will grow up doing that stuff to their teacher and probably to their parents too. It depends on if the parents know how to beat their
Yeah,
behind closed doors. Because other than that, they'll be doing it to their parents. So
that's true.
it's just messed up, man. And when you see these guys who they look up to misbehave like that, yep.
Well, according to the
All
article
right.
that,
So
go ahead,
go
Najee.
ahead. No, go ahead because I
No,
was gonna
I
get
was
off
just
topic
going
with
to say,
that. Go
according
ahead and
to the
finish that one.
article that I'm looking at right now, it says Embiid scored while getting fouled with 7:08 remaining in the first quarter against the Celtics, then made a
Mm-hmm.
chopping gesture toward his groin. Basically,
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I guess for making
pretty
that
severe.
gesture, he's been fined at least 4 times in the past for making the gesture. 75,000 in December 2024, a game in which he made multiple gestures, and 35,000 in October 2023, and 25,000 in January 2023. And he's saying that at least he's referencing, according to his ex account, saying that the refs need to stop doing what they're doing when they do a loot. According to him, I guess they're doing a lewd blocking foul gesture. Is that
See,
true,
see that
You
Najee?
that little
can't
50.
justify his
What?
misbehavior, DC. And that's what it look like he's not going to learn from it, man.
I
If
don't think
he's
he's
trying
gonna
to
But
learn
that
from it.
justify,
50,
No.
yeah,
that 50 grand that they finding him for, he makes more than that
Yeah,
there's
it's
four quarters in a
the
basketball game,
money
right?
doesn't
He makes
even
he makes more than that.
phase him.
He
He'll
makes more
write
than
that
that in a
check.
quarter of a game.
He'll send
He
that
makes
check
the
today.
he
That
roughly
money
same,
makes
doesn't
around
phase him.
75 to 80 grand per quarter. So he's not really seeing like
DC. That
that's
was
not
the
phasing
reason
him.
why. That's the reason why I asked you and Najee, what was it? Was it a fine or a suspension?
Well, they're
If
gonna
they
have to start
No,
suspend
it's
him,
suspending,
fine.
obviously, in
yeah,
order to get
because
the
if they
When you
message
start
suspend him,
across.
he's
suspending,
gonna lose a
now you're
bad
talking about
consequence
hundreds
to
of
pay.
grand versus
Yeah.
Right.
per game when you do that.
Right. And that's the reason why I asked that question, man, because see, it only sink in when it's deep. Because when they hit you with a deep penalty, like in a suspension or something like that, that's when it sink in.
Mm.
But these
Exactly.
little pennies where they find you these pennies, because that's what it is. These
Yep.
guys will go
Yep.
out to a booty shit club and blow 50 grand. Come on. So that
Yeah.
ain't gonna
He
hurt
makes
them.
he
Hey,
Theoretically, it
50,
ain't
hey,
gonna.
50,
makes about
50
400
grand in
grand a
$1
game.
bills, right?
Mm. Yeah, he makes
No,
about
they have
400
20s
grand
up
a
in the
game. So he definitely gonna see
DC.
it.
Nah, you
Hey,
don't do it the
you
way
you
it
you go to the
was,
bank and you get 50
man.
grand in $1 bills, and you go to the booty
That's a
shake
lot of
club and
money.
you throw them fifty
No,
That's a lot of
thousand
money.
dollars up
DC.
toward the stage, right?
DC. I don't know what hooded out booty shake club you going to, but the guys throw on 20s, hundreds, and 50s. I don't know what kind of rinky dink booty shake club you going to. Them
Well,
girls have hundreds in their little strap
well,
around their
maybe,
waist.
hey, maybe I came along in the wrong era with that because I haven't
Yeah,
been to
yeah, ain't no
one of
dollars,
those clubs
man.
forever, and I haven't seen anything like other than $1 being thrown up at that
Yeah,
stage. So
yeah, you
See,
hanging out there
he
over there with
he
it.
he makes he makes $437,000 per game.
that's a lot
So
of
that's
money.
when
So
that means if he gets suspended, he'll recognize the severity of that infraction. Then, other than that, the $50,000 is nothing, man. Yep.
No, it's not going to phase him at all. And hopefully, something's going to have to shake him. And that suspension might be, if he keeps doing it, by the way. So,
he's been doing it. So
yep.
question, guys.
Hmm.
Y'all were talking about y'all talking about hockey. The Kings play the Panthers on the 17th of December. Then they play Tampa Bay on the 18th. So that's gonna be a Wednesday and a Thursday ordeal
Hmm. Let me look at my
for
schedule
December.
because
Is that going to be in here in South
It's gonna
Florida?
be in Florida. It's gonna be
okay.
in Florida. They play back to back days. They're gonna play the Panthers and they're gonna play. I think they're Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, so they play
They're going to play Tampa
Wednesday and
Bay
Thursday
Lightning where? In
Tampa Bay.
in
in
Tampa
Tampa
Bay.
Bay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, let's try to grab some of the schedule and see if we can
Yeah,
make it a
let's
lot.
let's
We'll
let's let's
do
sit
one.
down and talk about a schedule that works
All
for
right.
all three of us because it'll be
Right.
great. And
Okay.
we'll do a show while all three of us is down there in one
Okay.
spot.
That'll
That'll
be
be
beautiful,
awesome
man.
too. We can do
DC, we
that.
might could do that thing down in Yelman's down there, the restaurant that we like to go
Absolutely.
in Tampa,
Man, that
dude.
is an awesome idea, Isaiah. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll wrap this thing up, and boy, we had a hell of a show today. We are
Yeah.
so happy to be able to bring it to you every single week, at least twice a week, and we're gonna amp it up as we go along, and make sure you subscribe to us and hit that like button on all of the social media platforms because it helps that algorithm, and that algorithm just brings us more creative topics to bring to you. It's from the Dodgers championship to the NFL to the college football. I mean, and basketball has returned to us now. We're in for a wild ride on into next year, and we're going to be bringing you everything we bringing you, especially on the weekends. Football season's got about another month and a half before the playoffs start for college, and then as pros as well, because everything is kind of a seasonal thing, and they overlap. These sports overlap each other, which is a good thing in a lot of ways. So stay locked into the DC Stewart Show podcast. And I'm going to go ahead and close this thing out with Isaiah, and we'll go from there.
Hey guys, listen, man. Great Najee's back, man. It's always phenomenal and uplifting and so much fun when he's here, man. He's always on assignment doing things to help our show get bigger and progress. But on the flip note, fam, we're glad that you guys tuned in. We always express our love and admiration for the family, and you guys continue to, support us. But what I want to say is, you guys love on each other hard as you can. Express the fact that you care about your friends and family, and tell them why they're healthy and alive and they can hear it. And have a pleasant weekend. We'll be doing a live show on Saturday, so you guys tune in. Tell your friends, your family, and your coworkers that we're on. Have a good week. Yes.
Yes, sir. How about you, Najee?
Peace and blessing, love God, because He definitely gonna love you. Well, I'm keep telling these old guys here, DC and Isaiah. If I tell you who's gonna win, don't go against me, because I'm gonna win every time.
Hey, I'm
Do
I'm I'm
not
with you on
go
that.
against me.
It's
Don't
Okay?
be
Isaiah is the one
believing
I don't
don't
care
that
if it's
listen.
fake
basketball. I don't care if it's
Isaiah is
football.
the one that don't
Don't go
listen,
against
Najee.
me, man.
He's the culprit.
you have a fruit win
Because
every now and then, man. You gotta
a
be
fruit win.
crazy.
Every time y'all
Every
go
now
against me,
and
I
then.
win. Every time y'all go against me, I win. So stop doing it. I'm gonna start taking some money from y'all now.
There you
We
go.
gonna bet, but I ain't listening to nothing you said. I ain't gonna bet you either. But I couldn't get you to go to Tampa Bay and eat some yams. That's what we'll do. Take you up there and feed you, get you fat, and take you back home.
Yeah, Yeoman's is one of the best restaurants for seafood I've eaten at in decades, and that restaurant is in downtown Tampa, and you can't go wrong by going there to eat. The
There's
service
walking
is
distance from the hockey
excellent.
stadium, TDC.
The environment is excellent. It's right up the street from the hockey
Right.
auditorium,
You can literally
so
walk across,
you
yeah.
could literally walk across onto the marina, the Tampa Marina,
Hmm.
and walk all the
Yeah.
way up, and that's where the Lightning play. So,
Hmm.
and then you
Yep.
got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium on up the
Yeah.
road there, so you can't go wrong.
Hmm.
Tampa would be a place I would even consider settling one day. So who knows? Me, Isaiah, and myself will be old and gray, but we'll be selling somewhere like that. So anyway, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you once again for joining us. Take care of your health and your spirits, and physically and mentally. Make sure, as Isaiah and Najee say, love on each other, love on others. Don't look down on people because maybe they look different from you, or maybe they don't agree with some of the things you agree with. And respect people, because when you respect others, that respect comes back to you. It bounces right off the wall, and that respect comes back to you twofold. So take care. Peace, love, and prosperity. We'll see you soon. Take it easy.